What's up, guys? Today I'm jumping back on Indies. We're going to be skating the inverted kingpin Indies. So this is the Indy Mid, and you can see here that it is shorter than the standard Indies by a little bit. Actually says on here probably how tall it is. It's 50.5 millimeters high, so a little bit shorter than the Indy standard. You don't have a lot of kingpin clearance on the Indy Mids. These are both hollow. The hangers are very similar, but this one is just a little bit shorter on the hanger. The base plate's the same height. I think the base plate's the same size, but the forged base plate is a little bit thinner. It's a little bit lower with that forged base plate. I know the white Indy bushings are supposed to be softer, like 78A, and the orange, when you buy them, they're supposed to be like 90A, but actually these orange bushings feel a little bit softer just by feeling the turn with my hand. Also, if you have that lower axle, it's going to feel a little stiffer and not as turny, but they're supposed to have the same geometry where they have the same turn. I'm just saying what I feel with my hand. So I think there is a slight difference in having the forged base plate, but you can see if I switch the hangers. So now we've got the standard Indy hanger on the Indy Mids with the forged base plate, and then we've got the Indy Mid hanger here on the standard Indy base plate. So now we don't have much kingpin clearance at all on this one, but it's kind of interesting because now we have quite a bit of kingpin clearance, and this could actually be a viable option because the inverted kingpin with just the Indy Mids, it's not that much of an upgrade because you don't have a lot of kingpin clearance. But if you get this inverted kingpin and put it on some standard Indies, it's a significant upgrade because you have a significant amount of kingpin clearance. I have heard that this is a cheaper material than the actual kingpin, like the hollow kingpin that you find on the regular standard Indies. I've heard that this actually grinds smoother than this, but having that Allen key here would allow you to grind this down a little bit and still be able to loosen and tighten your truck without having to lose the ability to adjust your truck just because you grind the kingpin down with Smiths or Feebles. The fly seems to like it. I'm used to Thunders and a longer wheelbase, so I'm probably going to be getting a lot of wheel bite today. So these are as loose as they can be right now. So I can get the board to do a kickflip, but I cannot pop it. It's ghost popped because the trucks are so much higher than what I'm used to, and the tail is so much steeper. So with both of those together, it just ghost pops. It will flip, but I have not been able to actually hit my tail against the ground, which maybe that'll make the tail last a lot longer. So I jumped on a board with an Indy front truck and a Thunder back truck, and there was almost no turning. I felt like I was leaning and I couldn't turn. So I'm going to stick both Indies on this flatter board, and I think I'm going to be able to skate a lot better. I'm also going to put harder bushings in there because these bushings are just ridiculous. I know they work my ankles out a little more, and I feel like I'm getting a workout the whole time. I know I'm getting a workout the whole time, but I don't know if it's worth it because I just feel super unstable. Alright, so this is the setup right here. So we got both the Indy trucks on this more mellow board, and I finally feel super comfortable, super excited about my setup. I feel like I could grind through anything with this. I want to tell you something right now. If you don't take anything else from this video, take this from the video right here. If you are having truck problems, the main thing you need to change is your bushings. If your trucks aren't turning enough, put softer bushings in them. If they are too squirrely, put some hard bushings in there. That's going to change this more than anything else. So I've got hard mini logo bushings in the back truck. I've got hard bones bushing. No, I've got medium bones bushings in the front truck. And this is perfect now. I'm excited. I want to go skate something big. like a large bowl. I'm ecstatic about these trucks. I can't shut up about it. Once I put the different bushings in there, I mean, these are amazing. I went from not being able to 50-50 on these trucks at all to these being like my favorite trucks of all time. This might be my favorite setup of all time right now. There's this joke that Albert Einstein went to heaven and this guy came up to him and said, "Oh, you're Albert Einstein. I can't wait to talk to you." And he said, "Oh, well, before I talk to you, what's your IQ?" He said, 140. He said, "Oh, great. We can talk about string theory. We can talk about physics." And then another guy came up to him. He said, "What's your IQ?" He said, 120. He's like, "Oh, great. We can talk about finances." And then a third guy came up to him. He said, "Oh, what's your IQ?" He said, 100. He said, "Oh, we can talk about culture wars." Let's add to that and say another one came up to him and said, "Oh, my IQ is 60. He said, "Oh, great. We can talk about football." And then another one came up to him and said, "My IQ is 50. He said, "Oh, great. We can talk about celebrities and TV shows." And then another one came up to him and said, "Oh, my IQ is 40. And he said, "Oh, you must be one of the hosts of The View." Humans have always been stupid, but nobody realized how stupid humans were until TikTok came along and people were screaming stuff like abolish the police. So we abolished the police and things got worse. So the reason in a previous video I said I need both Indies and Thunders is because certain boards are made for Indies and certain boards are made for Thunders. This board was actually made for Indies. It's got a long wheelbase. It's really flat. They're tall. They push the wheelbase in. It's the perfect setup with Indies. It actually feels a lot better with these Indies now that I've gotten used to it. They're gonna open me up to more tricks and I'm really happy with them. This board on Thunders was just a little too low and I just didn't have any pop. There's a thing called brand loyalty and there's a thing called gear acquisition syndrome. So just because someone tells you on the internet that a certain truck or a certain board is better than the other ones, that doesn't mean that it's true for you. Everybody's different and everybody has different needs when it comes to a truck. So just because somebody's loyal to a camera company like Canon doesn't mean that Canon's better than Sony. Just because somebody's loyal to Sony doesn't mean Sony's better than Canon. Yeah, it's just different for different people. For me right now on this setup, Indies are the best. They're taller, they're beefy. I don't feel like I'm dancing around on some fragile little truck, you know, it's gonna wear down really quickly. I feel protected with the inverted kingpin. I really do like the standard Indy hanger on the Mindies, the Indy Mid. It's a nice combination. So overall, I've been really happy with this board and truck combo. I would suggest it if you have a steeper board. You might not want these trucks. You might want some lower trucks because you're going to be getting a lot of ghost pop where you don't actually pop your tail. But for me, this setup works perfectly fine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, and hit that subscribe button because I got a lot more videos to come. Thanks for watching.